three horses we selected were Flying Victor, Fiery Ensign, and Regal Classic. Flying Victor finished fourth that day, but showed come-from-behind talent. He's the pride of the Bell family, 88-year-old Ray, his son Tom, and grandson Ray II, who trains the horse. Tony Drakus is a small-scale owner who has struck it rich with Fiery Ensign, a Grade 1 winner last year, who yesterday finished fourth at Keeneland in his first start of this year. Jim Day was an Olympic gold medalist for Canada in 1968. His colt, Regal Classic, has yet to run this year, but makes his debut next Wednesday at Keeneland. And Flying Victor, well, after his fourth place finish in the Breeders' Cup, he was rested in preparation for 1988. 88-year-old owner Ray Bell has had a full life.
He's worked so hard all his life. He's had some good horses, but he's never had the real good horse in this country. And you know, we're always hoping that, you know, for our, not only for his benefit, but for ours, that he can come up with a nice horse.
He just had open heart surgery at 88 years old. It's been remarkable. He's bounced back, and he's coming to races on Saturday, so he's tough.
The Bells have been to Kentucky before, in 1980 with another come-from-behind colt, Rumbo. Rumbo had a rough trip, but flew through the stretch and only missed winning over the filly Genuine Risk by 1 length. The real difference between first and second?
It's only about $10 million, and it's a trivia question. Who finished second in the Derby? You can ask anybody. Nobody remembers. They always remember Derby winner, but they never remember ones that run second and third.
Flying Victor's career was in doubt early this winter. He began to walk lame. Ray II tells what that time was like.
You never know really what it is until you take an x-ray of it. As lame as he was, we thought it quite possible that he had a fracture in his foot or something, but after taking x-rays of it, they all proved negative.
And Flying Victor came back to the races in the San Rafael Stakes. He didn't win, but he was flying at the wire as he finished second to What a Diplomat. Today, he tries again. And what a life his owner Ray Bell has had. Once world champion cowboys in the Cowboy Hall of Fame, managed the racing stables of moving magnate Louis B. Mayer, trained for Bing Crosby. I mean, he's seen it all. And if you want to talk about horses to him today, you better know what you're talking about. And there, again, a look at Flying Victor, who, as we said, has been raced very lightly. And I think that's an appropriate time to bring in our colleague on these racing telecasts, Charles E. Canty. Charles E., racing horses lightly seems to be the new way to go to the Derby.
It's a definite fact, Jim. 30 years ago, a Kentucky Derby starter would have averaged just under 17 career starts. Last year, the number was down to just over 9 starts, and the big reason seems to be the increasing number of million-dollar-plus purses. So horsemen are being more conservative now with their horses.
Okay, we've talked about the favorites here. How about some of the other horses? Because this is a very competitive field.
Well, one of the more lightly raced ones is All the Power. Eddie Gregson trains this one, and he knows a thing or two about winning a Kentucky Derby with a long shot with Gato del Sol. This colt has never been worse than second, but he hasn't yet won a stakes race, and there's the reason for the long odds. Another colt here that is not quite as lightly raced is Purdue King, and he'll be close to the pace. I don't think anybody will be very far back today at all, in fact. He was a decent 2-year-old last year and finished second at a long price in the San Felipe. And Ruhlman is another colt with a big question to answer today. We saw Ruhlman go off the favorite in our Florida Derby telecast, but he finished nowhere. He bled internally in that race, and today he races on the anti-bleeding medication Lasix for the first time, as does Lively One, who also bled in his last start. Jim?
Okay, well, the moment approaches. We'll return to Santa Anita Park, as we said so often at the Olympics, after this message and a word from your local stations, remember? A final look at the odds before the running of the Santa Anita Derby. Quickly, it's Purdue King. He won 3/8 of a mile in 34 and change yesterday, and yet he's still at 21-1. Ruhlman at 10-1. Flying Victor at 8-1. You saw the other ones, I hope, quickly there, because the filly Winning Colors is co-favorite right now. All the Power at 40-1. Mi Preferido at 7-2. And you saw that Lively One is co-favorite at 5-2 with the filly Winning Colors. Numbers 5 and 9, the co-favorites in this race now. And here they come, Charlesie.
Well, the key to the race will probably be how Mi Preferido and Winning Colors, the two confirmed front-running speed horses, who will contest the lead and who will allow the other horse to steal away. Wayne Lucas says if they let Winning Colors gallop out on her own, they'll never catch her. If they try to go with her, they'll kill themselves.
Well, Winning Colors is now the favorite. The odds have changed. Winning Colors at 2-1, the favorite. I have an idea that maybe Purdue King may go out with him, too. He's got a lot of speed if he chooses to use it. He's a California bred, a son of DiMaggio. There's Charlie Whittingham, the bald eagle. He'll be 75 years old next Wednesday. He won this race last year with Temperate Sill. 2 years ago, won the Kentucky Derby with Ferdinand, who will be going here next week against Ellie Sheba again. Boy, the older horses are moving into the picture more and more these days, too. There is Purdue King. And the stakes and track record, Lucky Debonair and Sham still sharing that record at 147. The track record, 145 and 4/5.
And there's Winning Colors. What a big filly she is. She's bigger than any of the colts in here. Very strong.
She gets a 5-pound weight advantage as a filly, carrying 117 pounds. All the others carrying 122.
To look at her, you'd think maybe some of the other colts ought to give her weight.
Well, there's Purdue King, number 1, you were watching at that moment. As the crowd of almost 50,000 looks on. They're the colors of Gene Klein. It is time now to go up to the man who will bring you the race, Dave Johnson. Here we go, Dave.
Lots of early speed, as you said, in here,
She's
Jim. Winning Colors and
spread out,
Preferito, very quick out of the gate. All the
Back
Power
up,
is an
easy,
interesting
all
horse. Very fast, but maybe not fast enough to run with these. But if he does run with them, perhaps he'll compromise the front runners with a speed duel. We'll have to see. We're listening to the horses as they move into line there. You're hearing the actual sounds of the assistant starters.
Donnie,
There are
Donnie,
5 horses
that
who
horse
would
on his
like to
feet?
be
Get
behind
him
the
on his
first
feet.
2. Big question mark, what's going to happen on the first turn? There seems to be one sure
one
thing,
out,
though, and
boys.
that's that Flying Victor is going to be last early,
All
but
right.
flying at the finish looking for Victor.
Get her on her feet, Junior.
All in line.
She spread out, Junior.
And they're up. Winning Colors takes the early lead right from the middle of the pack. What a Diplomat into second position. Here comes Meet Preferito on the outside to challenge early, and Tejano is right there third. Now, past the stands for the first time. On the outside, Meet Preferito gets the lead by a head. And on the inside, it's Winning Colors in second position, but now Winning Colors, the filly, takes the lead again. Meet Preferito is second. Then one back, it's Tejano racing in third position. After that, it's All V Power fourth. What a Diplomat is fifth on the inside. Lively One is sixth. Ruhlman seventh. Purdue King is eighth. And as expected, Flying Victor is the trailer. Now on to the backstretch after a first quick quarter of 22 and 1/5 seconds. It's the filly, Winning Colors, with Gary Stevens leading the way by 2.5 lengths. Meet Preferito is in second by the same margin, and All the Power on the inside is third by a head to Hano, alongside fourth and Lively One. This is a must race for him. He needs some earnings to get into the Kentucky Derby. He's fifth on the outside. Ruhlman is sixth. At the rail, it's What a Diplomat, then Purdue King, and then Flying Victor. Now around the far turn, and Gary Stevens asks for more speed from the filly and gets it, as Winning Colors draws away to lead it by 4 lengths. It's Meet Preferito in second. At the rail, All the Power third. Tejano gaining a bit between horses, and Lively One on the outside. But as they turn for home, it's the filly, it's Winning Colors, drawing off now to lead it by some 6 lengths in the Santa Anita Derby. Meet Preferito is second. Lively One on the outside takes up the chase. Tejano is next, and down the stretch they come. And it's the filly, Winning Colors, in front by 8, as on the outside, Lively One takes the second spot. But the Santa Anita Derby turns into a procession for the filly, Winning Colors. And there she is, and there Gary Stevens is, wearing the Winning Colors of Gene Klein, the first filly to win the Santa Anita Derby since 1959 when Silver Spoon won it. And the third filly in history ever to take this West Coast Classic. And the time of the race, wow, look at this, 1:44 and 3. That's a new stakes record. That's a new track record. This filly just raced into the history book here on the West Coast and just raced into the Kentucky Derby field. Jim?
Dave, thank you very much. We have seen, I think, a bit of racing history here today, and what a story is headed for Kentucky. The filly, Winning Colors, absolutely burying the 8 colts in her first appearance against the opposite sex. A new track record, not only a stakes record, but a track record on an extremely fast track here at Santa Anita. Unbelievable performance by Winning Colors, owned by Gene Klein, the former owner of the San Diego Chargers, trained by Wayne Lucas, who has never won the Derby. And now they have changed the time, let's see, to 1:47 and 4. That seemed unbelievable, and apparently it is. So they have changed the time, a malfunction of the clock here at Santa Anita. 1:47 and 4, but that does not take anything away from the performance of Winning Colors.
Nevertheless, a great performance by this filly. Wayne Lucas knew she was special. Now all America knows it. He said the term greatness was tossed around too loosely, but the people who called her great this week were not premature. This was a really spectacular performance.
Lively One was second unofficially. It's all unofficial still. Mi Preferido was third unofficially. But the whole story is winning colors. Jockey Gary Stevens is the leading jockey on the West Coast, a young man who came out of Idaho to make a name for himself. Never won the Derby, of course, but he could be on his way. That white bridle is the trademark of the Wayne Lucas horses, by the way. Makes it easy for him to spot them on the track. Again, there's the corrected time of 1:47.4, which is 4/5 of a second off the stakes record. Well, not much to replay.
There really isn't. This is the way it started, and this is the way it ended. After she put Mi Preferido away on the backside, this filly continued just to set dazzling fractions and go easily under Gary Stevens. The rest are nowhere. There's nothing we can say. Maybe she should have to give weights to the colt next time.
She is a daughter of Caro, who came from Ireland. Out of the mare All Rainbows, yes?
Couldn't have been an easier victory.
Spoon won this race, a filly in 1959, all that time ago. No filly has won since then. And in fact, Silver Spoon was the last filly to appear in the Kentucky Derby. She finished 5th in that year until Genuine Risk came along in 1980 and not only ran in the race, but won it. And now 8 years later, it looks like another filly will be among the favorites for the Kentucky Derby. The name, write it down, Winning Colors. Very appropriately named. We'll have the official prices and the complete order of finish when we come back here. Right now, let's take a break and a breath. And son Jeff Lucas, both of you, congratulations today. What a performance.
Jim, we're really pleased. I want to say this, though. I got to give all the credit to Jeff. He's the one that's lived with this filly and nursemaided her and sat with her and brought her along and got her over here like this. And all I've done is worry a lot, and he's really the guy that gets all the credit for this one.
Okay, a few years ago, you took a filly named Althea to the Derby. She was the favorite. Charles, it reminds me that later, I think you said that she may have left her race in the Arkansas Derby. Any fears that that might have happened today?
I don't think so, Jim. The thing that's different this time is that we've got 20-some days. The Arkansas Derby crowded the Kentucky Derby a little bit for Althea. Winning Colors is a different kind of horse. These are two different horses of two different colors. And I think that with the time we've got and the style of this filly, I think we'll be fine.
Is she definitely on her way to Kentucky?
It'd be hard not to take her off that performance, Jim.
Will she run again?
We do not plan to run her again. No, I think now we'll just work her in and bring her up to the race, get her acclimated at Louisville, and it looks like it's going to be the Woody and Wayne show again. Okay, Wayne, congratulations and good luck down the road. Here is the complete order of finish in the Santa Anita Derby. Winning Colors, the winner, Lively One, Mi Preferido, Tejano is 4th, What a Diplomat, and the rest of the field, All the Power, Purdue King, Ruhlman, and Flying Victor. That is the story, live from Santa Anita Park, standing by Churchill Downs.